Zulfikar Ali Bhutto Jr. has been sharply critical, calling the project not people-centered and labeling it a for-profit scheme for cash-crop irrigation.
The key concern is water. Will water reach us? And this is a concern because water has not been reaching us. And over the past few years, we have actually seen a consistent decrease in water levels coming to us. This is not a for-people scheme. It has never been a for-people scheme, and there is no intention of calling it a for-people scheme. This is a for-profit scheme for cash crop irrigation.
Now, Bhutto argues that when river water flows to the sea, it creates rich, fertile coastal land.
When water goes to the sea, you have an arable coastline. The delta of the Nile, the coast of Egypt, is more fertile than the entire area that stretches the Nile on either side, because the river pushes the seawater back, creating a suitable atmosphere, not just land that has fresh water, but even a suitable atmosphere that is not saline, in which multiple crops can grow throughout the year.
He pointed to coastal towns like Keti Bandar and Shah Bandar, but now being abandoned as seawater pushes inland, swallowing thousands of acres.
And the problem is that we, for the sake of one part of Pakistan, we are depriving many parts of Pakistan from having fresh water. And we're seeing this in Keti Bandar. Towns like Keti Bandar, Shah Bandar are being abandoned. Thousands of acres of land are being lost to the sea, and these thousands of acres of land could have been actively used for year-round agriculture, such as rice, such as wheat. So when the climate is affected, so are we, so is our capacity for production of food. When we talk about the ecology, we are not separate from it. I think a lot of people have shown resistance to me to say, well, you talk about birds and trees, and what about us? The problem is we are the birds and trees. We depend on the land that is being affected. So to talk about ecology is to talk about agriculture, it is to talk about our own sustainability. So the thing is, when you stop water from going to the sea, you interrupt the entire hydrological cycle.
Bhutto also linked the ecological decline to reduced rainfall and glacier formation since the 1970s, following the construction of Karbela and Kotri Dam.
If already so far upstream, Mangla Dam is in Kashmir, it's not even in Punjab. If so far upstream we don't have water, how can you expect us to, one, divert water in Cholistan, and two, have water in Sindh? So we're already seeing the climate being tremendously affected.
A major sticking point in all this has been consultation. Many see that the affected communities were left out of the conversation, which risks fueling tensions and weakening the legitimacy of this project. Now, Bhutto says that there is no transparency, no explanation on how and why these decisions are being made.
If we've lost 40% of our land due to waterlogging and salinity caused directly by canals, who's to say that this land will not be compromised in Cholistan as well? And also, there's no transparency to the project. No local experts were consulted. If experts were consulted, we certainly don't know who they are. And we cannot say for certain what the government is even doing for us to make any certain claims ourselves.
Across Sindh, protests have broken out. Communities are mobilizing to protect their water rights. Bhutto says that the commitment is deep, and the people of Sindh are determined to protect Indus River.
What was a trickle has become a deluge of voices against these canals, and that public pressure has been seen in the fact that for the first time, the PPP, the ruling government of Sindh, who has been given the responsibility of taking care of the people of Sindh, finally said, actually, we are against the canals. We were double-crossed. We're not for the canals. But nobody believes it, because we have the documents. We see the documents. These are public documents that have Asif Ali Zardari's signature, that have the PPP's signature, that have the PMLN signature. And I think of these documents not as documents, but as receipts. Receipts to the sale of our water rights to Punjab.